To Senator Harry Reid, the outgoing Senate Minority Leader, who's joining us by phone. Senator Reid, you, as far back as October, were attempting to warn the country that the CIA had this information. You sent a letter to James Comey, the FBI Director, to that effect. Why, sir, do you believe that the FBI did not act on it and that nothing was done before November 8th?
Because I did not believe that Comey was the new J. Edgar Hoover. I thought that he would do the right thing for the country. You know, this is clear. We've all read the press the last few days. The FBI had this material for a long time, but Comey, who's, you know, of course a Republican, refused to divulge this information regarding Russia in the presidential election. He violated the orders of the Attorney General, President, and good taste by getting involved in the election like he had. But he would not let well enough alone. He couldn't do enough to help. And everyone knows that WikiLeaks, everyone should know, WikiLeaks was involved from the very beginning. They leaked the information as if it were run by one of the great political operatives in America. But in fact, it was run by the political operatives in Russia. And, you know, Russia has a pretty good way of cheating. Look at what they did with athletes. This is just the needle under the tent, or how the hell to say it. The point is that this is just the beginning. And I'm so happy that the administration is going to demand that the work is being done before he leaves. And you note he didn't ask the FBI to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so just to be clear and to reiterate, you believe, sir, and we're talking with Senator Harry Reid, the outgoing Senate Minority Leader, you believe that Jim Comey, the FBI Director, had this information and deliberately withheld it from the American people before the election. Is that your contention,
That's
sir?
right. That is true.
And sir, you had Senator Lindsey Graham, who is, to my knowledge, the only Republican who is sounding even a hint of outrage about Russia's deliberate interference in our election. Do you have confidence that Senate Republicans will investigate this intervention in our election after January, or do you believe that the administration's investigation is all we're going to get?
I believe Lindsey Graham is a voice of concern. He's an accomplished trial lawyer. He was one of the people who led the impeachment of President Clinton. He's a good lawyer, and I think that he should get involved in this. I think with his doing that, with the voice he has, I think he'll bring in some of the Republican moderates. There aren't many, but I think he'll bring in some, because this is really important. You know, they've talked about for months now, taking a look at the cheating that goes on in Russia with their athletes. Well, why don't we look at the cheating they do affecting presidential elections? And as you have heard my voice, I am so disappointed in Comey. He has let the country down for partisan purposes, and that's why I called him the new J. Edgar Hoover, because I believe that.
Do you believe that Jim Comey should resign, Senator Reid?
Of course, yes.
And
but he won't. He won't. He has a term there, and I'm sure he's got the new administration. They should like him. He helped him get elected.
And do you believe that the Justice Department should take action against Jim Comey? At the end of the day, he works for Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Should she try to have him removed?
No, there's not enough time to do that. That would be a gesture in futility.
And finally, sir, do you believe that James Comey, that his actions should be investigated by the United States Senate?
I think he should be investigated by the Senate. I think he should be investigated by other agencies of the government, including the security agencies, because if there were ever a matter of security, it's this. It's clear. It's so clear. You look at the accounts we have just in the press the last few days. It's just stunning the conclusions reached by the press. Thank goodness we've got them still around, despite a lot of people. This is not fake news, okay?
Yeah.
Intelligence agencies identified individuals with connections to the Russian government. There is no question about that.
And sir, one of your deputy, I believe your deputy chief of staff tweeted yesterday that you were interviewed, speaking of the press, by the New York Times, that you discussed these very issues with the Times, and that your interview was not included in their article, which in their view put forward the conclusion that the Russians' intervention was not to help Trump, it was just to disrupt the election. Do you believe that the New York Times deliberately left your conclusions on the cutting room floor? And if so, why do you think they would do that?
Well, I think the Times did not want to make this political. I think they believed that Comey would do a good job. And, of course, that was a terrible lack of judgment. I'm sorry they felt that way. But I don't think any of us understood how partisan Comey was.
And lastly,
The
sir,
New York Times.
before I let you go, can I ask you, do you believe that these revelations about Russia's intervention in our election undermine the legitimacy of the next administration?
Well, Trump's the president. He was elected. You know, this is a hanging shad 1,000 times over. He lost the election actually by about 3 million votes, but we have the system we have here, which, by the way, should change very soon.
Senator Harry Reid, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And thank you for all your service to the country. Thank you.